Hey, I am Stacy Julian, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you more about extended stories, and specifically how to find and create and write about connections that make those stories even more meaningful and more rich. So I want to start here in the Storyteller book, and we're near the end, and this is where we're talking about extended stories that are also connected stories. And there is something I want to share with you. It's a group of writing prompts, and they're so good, so useful that I have used them for many, many years. I call them documenting connections, and they're like little invitations to help you think about the details you would want to bring to an extended story. They help you unpack the boxes, right, in your attic of memories when you're pulling all these bits and pieces together. So I just want to quickly review those with you and give you an example of each one. So one documenting connection is little known fact. A little known fact is, let's say you're scrapbooking a cruise that you've been on recently, and you remember that you have a grandfather who served in the Navy. Right there in that extended story, you could absolutely include a picture of your grandfather and say, little known fact, Grandpa also spent a lot of time on the high seas when he served in the Navy. So it's an opportunity for you to take whatever you're scrapbooking currently and connect it to another person, another place, or another time. Another example is guess what? So let's say you're scrapbooking your teens friend circle. Right? That's a fun relationship extended story. You could create a connection by including a picture of yourself when you were a teenager, perhaps talking on the telephone that was connected to the wall, right? Guess what? That's how you used to connect with your friends. So another documenting connection is something that says remember when. And remember when would be maybe you're scrapbooking your son's high school basketball career. You know, maybe all the pictures from high school basketball, and they've even won a championship. And you have a picture from when he was a little boy, and the basketball was pretty much half his size, right? That's an opportunity for you to bring that picture in and draw that connection. And then another one is did you know? I love this one. Did you know is just, again, an invitation, and it says specifically for bits of trivia or fun and silly facts. And each of these, by the way, is totally defined in the Storyteller book. So you can reference, you can always go back and say, what is that an invitation to do again? But did you know is an opportunity for you to include just fun facts. So let's say you're scrapbooking, you know, your daughter's prom experience, the whole evening. And you could absolutely bring in a little, did you know that I bought my prom dress, you know, at such and such place, and it cost this much. So again, a chance to just say, you know, this isn't, we're not just here and now, right? We have all of these connections to other times and places and people. And finally, for your information. For your information is about definitions and explanations, and so it helps you, again, go deeper into each maybe different elements of your story. So if you were scrapbooking a hike that your family loves to take, maybe in a certain location, and maybe this is a place that you return to, you know, year after year, it would be interesting to do a little for your information and include maybe the information about the first explorers to that area. This is the kind of information that you often see posted on a placard, right, at a national park or something like that. You can bring that kind of information to your story and include it, and it just makes it a richer experience. So I want to show you then what we've done with some of the companion products for Storyteller that will help you create these connections and have more fun doing that. This is the stamp set. I love it. I absolutely love it. A mixture of fonts and sizes and fantastic words. And you might notice already, if you look closely, all 5 of those documenting connections that I just spoke to you about are available on this stamp set. There's remember when, for your information, did you know, guess what, and what's the other one? Little known fact. There it is. And in addition to having those 5 documenting connections, you'll just see other words that will be very, very easy to use. It will also prompt you when you're trying to bring in the story. So the details and story and on this day, the truth about, and a nice big, I love this ampersand and this FYI. So this is a fantastic and super useful stamp set that's going to help you craft the story. And then I love this new little storytelling pack. And I want to just take it out here of the package. And so that you know as a consultant, on the back of this card, it just explains what's in the pack and how you might use those items. Okay, so that's something you want to share with your customers. I love these insert cards that are meant to be used with the memory protectors, the Pocket Plus memory protectors. So there's 3x5 or 3x5, 3x4 sizes, and they come in a variety of designs. And again, they include writing prompts or writing designs that invite you to fill them in with information that will add to your extended and connected stories. I'm particularly fond of this. This is a design that you probably wouldn't know what to do with, right? Unless I explain it to you, but it's a Venn diagram. So this is an opportunity for you to bring 3 elements of your story together and show how they are all connected. And I will show you examples of how I love to use that. Here again is another card that has the word connected, and I'll show you how I've used that. But each of these designs invites a different type of storytelling and recording, documenting details. And I love these. And I think you have 2 of each design in both sizes. And then they're so fun to add the stamped images too, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But real quick, here's the sticker letters. I love these. These are perfect because of their size and because of how many letters you have. They're perfect for tying the design together across an extended story and adding names and dates and little details that maybe you don't write about, but you definitely want to point out or include, next to a photo or as part of your journaling. Okay? Let me show you how easy it is to take one of these insert cards and add a stamped image to it. So I'm going to work with this love card, okay, and a Clover ink pad, and I have the stamp little known fact. So this is a chance to love this little known fact. I'm just going to overlap a little bit right there, lift straight up, love it, and then I'm also going to add a red heart. And just put that there. And I love how the color has been very specifically designed to work, this gray color, when I say the color that's printed on these cards, the variations, the light and dark, but it's really meant to work with both warm colors and cool colors in the across the close to my heart color spectrum. So I think you'll have lots of fun. And I'm going to show you where this card is used in one of my extended stories, which is what I want to do right now. I want to show you how all of these parts and pieces come together. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is an extended story with lots of connections that I created about Thanksgiving. And even before we dive into this, I want to share something that I found to be true. I know that you have probably consultants and customers that often say, I'm so far behind in scrapbooking, right? I just can't catch up. This is a perfect opportunity to catch up. Someone who feels behind is actually at a huge advantage when you're planning for and compiling an extended story, because you want to pull together pictures and information stories from across the years. And so it's a great selling point for helping someone tell more of a story that they feel like they are behind on. So I love to start these stories with the big 8.5 by 11 protector and enlarge one of my favorite photos as an invitation to dive in and discover this. And really, as you flip through, I'm going to flip through the whole thing and then we'll come back and just point out some of the details. But every page you turn, there's just so many fun little things to look at, so many bits and pieces of story and pictures that come together to help someone understand what, in this case, what Thanksgiving is like, in our home. Okay? And I'll show you the back of that page when we come again. But let's go back to the beginning. So I love using these big stickers as a way to create a title. So give thanks. And then on the back, I've got a photo that I love that was taken years ago of my husband and I pulling the turkey out of the oven. But I've used a documenting connection, one of our stamps, did you know, to reveal, right, the fact that my husband actually likes leftover turkey better than feast day turkey. His grandmother and his mother made something called turkey enchilada casserole that they eat the day after Thanksgiving. And he loves it so much that he wants to get past the big dinner so we can get on to the yummy leftovers. So treasured moments and leftovers, and I tell the story, that connection to Jeff's past. Here in this first Pocket Plus page, and you can always incorporate elements from the papers and kits that you are currently loving. I wanted to point out that I love this pocket card here. It's the Venn diagram, right? And one of my circles says extended family, one says traditional food, and one says lots of football. And when you have extended family, traditional food, and lots of football, it can only mean one thing: Thanksgiving. Right? That's a fun way to, without a lot of words, bring, again, those elements of story together. The back of this Pocket Plus page, notice how I've used those little litter stickers. I can put them right on top of a photo to just include details that I'm maybe not talking about so much, but here's a spread of, food, time to eat, again, pulling out all the snacks and leftovers. And then here is one of the pocket cards, and notice how I've stamped right on top of the word tradition. Okay, just like I showed you earlier. I love this card here. It says connected, and it's an opportunity to take two small photos or other little elements and show how, not obviously, but that they're connected, okay? So this is my husband's grandmother, and this is my great-grandmother. They never met, but they are connected because two of our favorite Thanksgiving Day recipes came from them, right? Ruth Julian taught me how to make corn casserole, and Danish salad came through my mother from her grandmother Jensen. So they are connected in the recipes that we serve every year. So here's an example again of using the letters where I label Danish salad from great grandma Jensen. Here's a card that I love, just the word curious. As you're pulling a story together, a lot of these pocket cards will hopefully trigger ideas for you. When I look at the curious card and I look at the photos that it's next to, I think, I have always been curious about where Danish salad came from. The reason is because when people come to my home for Thanksgiving, they eat it. It's delicious, you guys. They always say, what is that salad? Where did it come from? And I know it came from Grandma Jensen, but many times I've gone to Google and I've tried to learn more about Danish salad. And I've actually learned that Danes love fruit salad, but I've never found a recipe that's anything like Grandma's. So I'm super curious, who invented this particular recipe? And that's a fun thing to include in a story like this. Here's an example of using another one of the stamps on top of one of the pocket cards. And then here's this fun little 6x6 protector. And again, I've used little labels or little letter stickers, okay? And on the back, I've told the story about how recently I've had to give up some of my favorite Thanksgiving foods. But I've learned in doing that really it isn't about the food as much as we like to think it is. It's about gathering with the people we love. And that's how I've learned that lesson for me. And that story is right there in the middle of the extended story. Of course, the 12 by 12 page for me is always the foundation. It's the biggest memory protector, and I love creating a traditional 12 by 12 page and then just adding all of that story on top. I will show you that one thing I love to do on the back of a 12 by 12 foundation page is simply treat it like a pocket. So I've included a printable list that I print and post on my cupboard each year, like a week before Thanksgiving starts, so I can remember everything I have to do. And I actually have recipe cards for those recipes that I make. I have those recipes on my phone now, but I love that I can keep the cards, and that's part of the memory. So I like to tuck mementos and other bits of memorabilia inside big page protectors like that when I'm compiling an extended story. Okay. This is another extended story, and we looked at it already in a previous video, so make sure you watch all of the training videos. We have so much good information to share. So I want to flip through, and I just want to, again, point out a little bit more about the documenting connections specifically. So here's an example of, there's the stamp for your information on top of one of our pocket cards, okay? This whole story is about our love of watermelon. This one says, for your information, Grandma Connie Hall was raised by James McDougall. Is it any wonder that we always eat watermelon at our family reunions? I don't think so. Pictures don't lie. So I'm drawing that connection between her growing up with her watermelon-loving father and the fact that she has made that a part of our family gatherings. Okay? Here's another example of just stamping on paper and adding a did you know, layering that onto a piece of pattern paper. And oh, there we go. Look right here. We've got the pocket card here that I recreated for you just a second ago. I layered the stamp, the little known fact, on top of the love card. Okay? And then down here is another example of how easy it is to add the stamps on top of those pocket cards and create more story. Here's another example here of the Venn diagram, because that might not be super obvious how to use. So when you have watermelon, or what brings watermelon, Grandpa McDougall, and stamping together? Well, for me, that's watermelon, right? Watermelon, I mean, those are all things that I love, I guess I should say. In the middle is love. I love watermelon, I love stamping, and I love my Grandpa McDougall, and they all come together in this extended story when I talk about purchasing this. One of the first stamps that I ever purchased from the Dots catalog was a watermelon, connected to many memories that I have. Here's another example of a pocket card. This is the 5 Things design, and I love to use this anywhere really, but I love to use it on the 12 by 12 page. It's just a really easy way to summarize a lot of the bits and pieces that you've shared. So 5 things to know. Grandpa James loved watermelon. We still do. Watermelon seeds should be black. I talk about that. So you can spit them out. That's part of the fun of eating watermelon. And a watermelon, you thump on it to know if it's ripe, which is something that's pictured here. That's something that I've taught my daughter, that my grandpa taught me. I think you're going to love these tools, these companion products, this amazing Storyteller book that's going to bring everything that we've done in Story by Stacy thus far together and help you practice and reuse and create stories that you can share with your loved ones, that you can teach to other consultants, to your customers, and really help them see how they can strengthen, just like you would strengthen design skills, photography skills, you can strengthen your storytelling skills. That's what this whole adventure has been about, and I know you're going to love it. I can't wait for you to get going with it. Thank you for watching.